Good afternoon. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. So today I have kind of a different miscellaneous type video. I've been watching some others on YouTube and TikTok do something kind of similar in a way, and I wanted to give you my take. Plus, I wanted to give you a different perspective, kind of be behind the camera. I'm just so Frankensteined right now with the surgery that there's just no way for me to look good. Faceless is making fun of me with, calling me Bruce Willis from Unbreakable. But anyways, I digress. The purpose of this video is really kind of my take on if my house was on fire and I had like 30 seconds to grab crap off my shelf that I wanted to take with me book-wise, what would I grab? What would be like, oh, I would just prioritize these books. Now, I'm going to call this take one because I'm definitely branching out new authors, finding new favorites. If I do this book, kind of video again in 6 months, a year, next month, it might be completely different. It might be sort of different. Some of the books might be there, half the books might be there. We'll see. But this is my take on if my house was on fire. I'm grabbing these books. And before we get started, huge shout out to Kevin Malone over there. If you don't know, I'm a huge Office fan. Definitely needed Kevin to help me with this. This is especially the heavy lifting here. So he's got his chili to make sure I don't get hungry. But anyways, let's get started. Night Shift, Stephen King, his first short story collection, arguably his best. I'd definitely pick this up. Lee Child, Die Trying, one of my favorite Jack Reacher stories. Probably not my favorite Jack Reacher book, but in terms of entertainment value, I think this is one of the better stories. The Paper Menagerie by Ken Liu. This is my first book that I read of Ken Liu. This is one of two of his current short story collections. I've read both of them. Travis at Travis Bookshelf picked this up recently. I'm looking forward to what he thinks of this. I love this book. There's so many good stories in here. They're just so kind of out there too. So definitely worth the read. You probably knew there was going to be more than one Stephen King book on here. Doohickey. Again, this isn't probably my favorite ever Stephen King book, but it is one of my favorite stories. I think it has some of the best characters in it. Specifically, there's one character here that I just immediately gravitated towards, and I think it has one of King's better endings. I mean, you knew this book was going to be on here. I mean, it's like a $4 paperback copy too, but Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park, the book that got me into reading as a teenager, it's always going to be up there. Who knows if it'll ever be supplanted. Classic. I mean, you have Bilbo, The Ring, Riddles in the Dark, a dragon named Smaug. I mean, come on. Street Lawyer, probably one of my favorite Grisham books. I think I've read probably over 20 Grisham stories. I like John Grisham. I mean, legal thrillers, I thought that the sequel to The Firm was kind of lackluster. I read that last year on Audible. There's a handful of Grisham books I could pull if I was just pulling John Grisham. This definitely would be on that list. If I had to pull one right now, I think The Street Lawyer is probably one of my favorites. I just really like the story. I mean, it's very heartwarming. If you haven't read this book, I recommend you do. Check this out. I mean, you can really find these at used bookstores. Obviously, I have a used bookstore copy, but you should check this out. I've toted Blake Crouch on the channel, Dark Matter. I mean, this is such a good book. I definitely look forward to the reread of this. Its story is good. It's really, really good. And I actually think I've read this twice now. So it would be a third time the next time I go through. But this is really, really good. And last, but certainly not least, Project Hail Mary. Andy Weir. I would pick this book up even though I prefer the Audible version of this book. The guy that does the voice narration is so flippin' good. Like, yeah. Faceless, if you're looking for a book on Audible that's going to keep your attention, you should try this one. This is, I don't see how anyone could dislike this on Audible. It's so good. The guy is so good. But yeah, that's my take. A huge shout out to Kevin Malone for helping me here. This is a different kind of perspective. Again, I figure people don't want to see, my face right now, so maybe I try this out. But those are the books I would grab off the shelves if my house is on fire and I only had a few seconds to grab. So, hope you enjoy this. Again, I'm going to call this take 1. And we'll see, maybe do it again in a couple months and see if it completely changes. Hope you're having a great afternoon. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.